My hair's full of secrets. Did you see Mean Girls? Why is my hair so big? It's full of secrets. About gemology, duh. It's very cozy in the studio. I feel like very cozy with my sweater on, a couple boxes. Ready? Card. Ooh, this will be fun today. Jasper. So Jasper is a subset of quartz. It is cryptocrystalline. Comes in lots of different colors. There's some pretty cool history about Jasper. I don't actually own any Jasper, but I would like to own some because of the cool patterns and kind of look of the stone. So hey, I'm hoping today that we get to see some minerals. I'm hoping, mineral specimens. I'm hoping for some jewelry, some cut stones. Ready? Wow, that's pretty. Okay, big old piece of rough. This is Jasper. Doesn't say what kind. Really smooth. This looks like it was just chopped right here and the rest was pulled out of the ground. There's some really, really pretty colors on this that I'm interested in. Very smooth. We will jump in and talk about this more. I want to see what else is in these boxes. Ready? All right, so this is bloodstone, also called heliotrope. We'll jump into this. I really like those colors together. I am not sure exactly what type of jasper that is. That is beautiful. There is an artist I really like, Mark Rothko, and his paintings I've seen, they're just really bold colors. And this actually reminds me of a Mark Rothko painting. I am not only a jewelry junkie, but I really like art too. And this kind of reminds me of Rothko. What do you guys think? Are you familiar with Rothko? And then this right here is Bumblebee Jasper. Am I allowed to touch this? Bumblebee Jasper is actually not Jasper. We'll jump into the details about Bumblebee Jasper. It actually contains arsenic, and that is why I asked my fantastic crew if I'm allowed to touch it. So I just have to wash my hands before lunch. Ooh, wow, guys. That's cool. And that's cool. This is poppy jasper, I believe. You can tell it kind of looks like poppy flowers. And then this is called brecciated jasper, brecciated. I am not quite sure what this is. I have actually never seen that term before, which I think is telling about jasper. You know, I've been in this business a while and there are still things that I am learning about the stone, and I hope that you enjoy as well. So we mentioned that jasper is a subset of quartz. It is microcrystalline, which means that you can't really see the little crystals. They're all kind of compacted together. The other variety would be like a macrocrystalline, and that's like an amethyst where you can, that is one crystal and you can see. And I think with crystals like this, you can tell here that there's, different colors and there's probably some different materials in there, and same with this one. And that's kind of what they mean by microcrystalline. There's different materials that are making up one. All right, guys, so the Mohs of Jasper is about 6.5 to 7. This is a great choice for jewelry. Obviously, you don't want to be smacking your ring on the table or dropping stones. Always be careful no matter what the Mohs is, but I think that all of these pieces would be great as, a pendant, maybe a ring. The RI is about a 1.54 to a 1.55. The luster is vitreous, and I don't think we've talked that much about luster on the channel. Adamantine is like diamond-like luster. Vitreous is what you're gonna see in most stones. It looks kind of like almost, I don't want to say oily. Materials will polish differently, and that is another way that gemologists can differentiate between different stones, is based on luster. On the 20 stone exam that I actually took, we had to distinguish the luster. All right, so jasper is actually found worldwide. Jasper that does not have, interesting colors or interesting patterns is actually called chert, C-H-E-R-T. Fortunately, today we've got some quite beautiful colors and patterns. As I mentioned earlier, jasper is cryptocrystalline. It's basically all these little crystals with some impurities thrown in, and that is jasper. It is a form of chalcedony, and I believe we've covered chalcedony on the past on this channel quite a few times. The reason we've kind of done a couple episodes about jasper and chalcedony and quartz is that it is such a huge group to talk about, and there's so many lessons that quartz and chalcedony and jasper have for gemologists. So let's see, we've got a few different pieces here today. This is just a basic run-of-the-mill jasper and a specimen that we have here at JTV. I was actually not super familiar with this. I had to phone a friend. This is called brecciated jasper, and it basically cracks, which you can see the cracks by running my fingers over those. So the stone cracked, and then it basically filled in the cracks, or like covered up the cracks itself. And what I really like about this piece is it looks like someone glued different colors and different crystals together, but that is au naturel, and I think the kind of pattern on this is really fascinating. Right here we have poppy jasper, and you can obviously tell where it gets its name from because it looks like poppy flowers. Thinking about a poppy seed muffin right now, but that'll have to be for once this video is done. Okay, so we have bumblebee jasper, which is actually not jasper, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And we have heliotrope, and I want to kind of dive further into heliotrope today. I love that like bluish green with the red speckles on it, and we can get into the stone because there's quite a bit to talk about the historical and some beliefs about the stone in the past. And I really don't know what this is. I just think it looks like a Mark Rothko painting, so we'll just call this, it's apparently called mugaite. I'm not quite familiar with that, but hey, that's okay. We can save this for another episode. I was initially attracted to the stone when I opened up the box. I love that kind of like raspberry hue and that golden yellow. I think it's a really interesting combination, and it looks like someone painted that, but it's not, and I think it's really beautiful. I would love to own this as a pendant or something. But you know, I wonder how many times I've said that over the course of this channel. I would love to have something in a piece of jewelry. If I received all of those pieces, I would probably have to buy a few more jewelry boxes. So maybe it's a good thing I don't own all of this. Jasper comes in a variety of different colors, as you've seen today. Typically it's going to be browns, reds. Iron oxides are usually responsible for the browns and reds, and clay can also color the pieces. Typically it's the impurities in jasper that are going to give it interesting colors and appearance. You're going to get about 20% of like foreign material in jasper, and that's where we can send the thank you note for the cool colors and appearance that the stone is known for. And I think that that's a really good basis of jasper. We've talked about picture jasper before. We've talked a lot about quartz and chalcedony, but now I want to jump in and talk about bloodstone, which I've always been fascinated with. I remember studying quite a bit of it at GIA, and I am thrilled to have it on the show today. Bloodstone, it's also called heliotrope. That term was used a lot by European authors kind of in the 18th century and earlier. It is actually a variety of chalcedony. It is not really called jasper because bloodstone is a little bit more specific. Sometimes it is called blood jasper. We can thank the presence of chlorite for the green. Those red speckles that you see, those are often hematite. Most of the material today is mined and cut in India. You can find it in the United States. This is pretty much like a global stone. It is thought to be more of like a masculine stone. You'll see a lot of bloodstone in men's jewelry, cufflinks. You know, as a female though, I would still wear this. I think it's pretty neat. All right, so the term blood jasper is actually used because this is an opaque variety of chalcedony. For those of you who are March babies, hello and meet your birthstone. We talked about the other term heliotrope, that is Greek for sun turner. And one of the reasons I'm so happy to have this stone on the show today is because there really is this really long and prolific history of bloodstone. Egyptians, Babylonians, we talked about the Greeks. So in these episodes, I kind of want to start talking more about history of gemstones. You know, there are those of you who love the science part of it like I do, and I also love the history part. So we're gonna try to kill two birds with one stone in these episodes and hit history, science, and we can all nerd out together. Bloodstone was believed by the Babylonians to be a healing stone, especially for blood disorders. Bloodstone is sometimes referred to as martyr stone because it was believed that the blood of Jesus Christ dripped onto jasper at the foot of the cross. Some Egyptians believed that it would help winning in battles. I've heard of athletes thinking it would give them personal strength. Some people today even think that it will help with your creativity. I believe that if I had the stone in my jewelry box, I would be a very happy camper. There is a long and prolific history. There are a ton of stories that we could talk about with bloodstone, but time's a ticking, dudes, and we gotta keep moving on. Bumblebee Jasper is not actually jasper. It is actually from Indonesia, and it's basically a mixture of lava and sediment. Arsenic is dangerous, which may have been the most obvious thing I've said on the channel ever. If you are around it in concentrated amounts for prolonged periods of time. Arsenic is actually found in other gemstones. It's pretty, prolific in earth. You want to make sure that if you do own Bumblebee Jasper, that the material is coated, and wash your hands. Don't be like licking this thing. It's an interesting piece to have on the channel. We know we can talk about misnomers. Just because a stone is called Jasper and maybe looks like Jasper doesn't mean it's Jasper. That's why I always remind you all never to cite ID, do your research, and always look for reputable sources. All right, everyone, I want you to take a look at this bloodstone and the red specks and that beautiful kind of bluish green background. I don't know if this would help with my creativity, but I know it would surely help with my happiness if I owned the stone. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching today. That was a ton of information in just a few minutes. I really hope you enjoyed it. And this is so cool that we're gonna have more to talk about Jasper and chalcedony and quartz in the future. I'm looking forward to plenty more episodes, and I hope you are too. So hey, like, subscribe, beg for more gem ventures, and I hope to see you soon. I'm gonna split and go wash my hands.